Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You know, when the other panel, the final panel, just before lunch, I was counting down the clock, and I was actually quite afraid I'll have to present to hungry people. But then I had some relief when Tarun called me and told me I'll present after lunch. But my relief was short-lived because I was like, oh, they're going to be full. So I hope you'll be alert, okay? As I take you through Scaling FinTech in Africa, I work at M-Pesa Africa. And it's a new organization, a joint venture between Vodacom South Africa and Safaricom Kenya. So a few years back, I was an engineer, and we were flown to another country. We were attempting to make market entry into a different country. We've tried to make market entry into more than 5 countries, but this was a special kind of country. And I remember, as engineers, landing and being whisked away in the LC200, what you guys call the Land Cruiser V8. You know, engineers in the V8. And we were taken to meet the regulators. So we are engineers, together with our leadership teams, who were there to meet the regulators. And of course, the challenges in that market were, number one, they had pockets of network. What did I say? Pockets of network. What else did they have? They had device affordability challenges out of poverty. And thirdly, they had literacy challenges. That meant no pins, no passwords. And of course, during the engagement, the regulator asked us, we know how mobile money works in your country. How sure are you that yours will work in our country? Can you prove it to us? And I'll give you now a conceptual view of Africa. And we've all seen that number. Makale from I&M talked about 1.4 billion people. I think he had a more updated result. Okay? So you look at that and you say, we're launching and we're going to target 500 million people in Africa. Well and good. But is it that simple? So we only have 5% of fintechs, 37 fintechs out of 716 that have scaled Africa. Cellulant, Jomo, MFS Africa, you can count them with your fingers. Of course, 4 times over, not 10. And you have to ask yourself why. Africa is quite fragmented. It's not as simple as 1.3 billion people. There are probably thousands of segments that you have to deal with. And the challenges start with regulatory regimes, very different. Our regulators sometimes don't talk to each other. Okay? And that defines the kind of solution that you're going to provide for your customers. The needs are different. We've had Sahil from Gulf African Bank telling us how they're serving needs for the Islamic banking population. So it's religion, it's language, name it. The differences are there. And it's all about a balancing act. When you have a fragmented Africa, what you have to do is ask yourself as a business, how do you standardize? Because with standardization, it allows you to scale. It allows you to reach out to the 1 billion customers. But are you really addressing their needs? Are you addressing the needs of the people in Burkina Faso? Are you addressing the needs of the people in Tanzania? No. Again, you need to localize. So this is the balancing act that is at play. And back to that room, we had a number of representatives, finance, marketing, engineering, SLT. We had a couple of people. And we all understood the assignment. We all understood what getting a license from that bank, that central bank in that country meant for organization, for the people of that country, for ourselves, our bonuses, yeah? They all depend on success, right? Without success, at the end of the day, we all look at that kind of remuneration to probably, that is on the personal interest side. But we had to think through what it meant for the customer. And I'd like to introduce the service design thinking. And according to the interactiondesign.org, service design is a function that allows you to, it's a methodology that allows you to build sustainable solutions for optimal experiences for customers in unique contexts and for all stakeholders involved. So that is what I call n-dimensional. You're no longer just focusing on the customer, you're also focusing on the partner who's with you on the ground. You're focusing on the regulator who's establishing the kind of rules and policies that you have to work with. So when it comes to service design, there are things that I've seen that have worked. And as I've mentioned in that room, we were a multidisciplinary team. So having a multidisciplinary team means, if you've already done Agile, it's already one step. You're already one step ahead because an Agile team has the self-running units. But I'm sure through this conference, we've all been presented the concept of Agile. What I'd like to probably present that is probably new is skills exchange. And what we've had is skill exchange on the reverse side. We're asking people to go understand data science skills. We are asking our customer care to go and learn about APIs. Have we asked our engineers to go and learn about marketing, about finance? Can you imagine being a low-cost competitor? And what low-cost means is you have to look for the cheapest cost base so that you are able to compete in the market. But then you go and poach an engineer from a company that operates on the premium range. What happens? They'll be coming and asking for budget. You're a low-cost competitor. Do you have the budget? You don't. So does your engineer understand your strategy? Does the engineer understand your marketing? So skills exchange is two-way. Needs the technology guys to understand the business and the business guys to understand the technology. And finally, you need an enabling environment. People have talked here about APIs. I won't speak about them. But I'd like us again to go back into that room where, we've set up, we're in a multidisciplinary team, and we've been given 30 minutes to come up with a prototype, which will grant us the prototype. Once we present it, will give us, the regulator will give us 30 days to produce a better demo, a working demo that will serve their country. So, we're introducing the concept as well of introducing your customers in your conversations. So within that setting, we had some customers, okay? Representatives of companies that are operating in that country who were present in the room. So that is why I'm talking about enterprise design thinking. So are you including your customers in what you're presenting? Of course, you can always look at the data. You can look at behavioral data analysis. You can look at AI, machine learning, all that. But sometimes you also need to bring the customer into the room through a focus group, for example, or customer research. But then your strategic partners. We've heard about partnerships here. We know Fingo is going in with EcoBank. So, when you look at these partnerships, you have to, within the room, the representatives have to be there. You don't have to be afraid to call out who your partners are. So let us, within that framework of multidisciplinary teams, we should be able to excel at service design thinking. And remember, I said it's thinking. I did not say it's a function, so don't go and do an organization structure and have a service design function. It's a thinking. I've talked about skills exchange. And for technology tools, it has been presented, APIs, hybrid cloud, microservices. And I'd like to go back again into this room. And I kid you not, our prototype was a skit. We had to act. It may seem trivial right now, but in front of those regulators, we acted our prototype. And they were convinced. In 30 days, we were granted time to build a demo. And here's how, the solution that we provided worked. The first thing is we had no network, so we had to accommodate for offline transactions. Number two, we had the poverty challenge, so devices were going to be a problem. So we sourced for MyFair cards and punched a hole on one corner so that whoever will be using the card can hang it on their neck and they can hang it in the house. So that then they can go, because it was one card per household, any member of the household could go and shop. But then remember we said no pins. So we had capability to store 5 fingerprints within a card. So that 5 members of the household, anyone could go and shop. Offline transactions, we catered for how the transactions would be updated and how the balances would be written on the card. So for me, at the end of the day, the license was granted. The unfortunate bit is, at that point in time, we did not enter that market. But have we entered other markets? Yes, we have. So Africa is fragmented, but our teams, our people, don't have to be. Thank you.